I would love to have like someone made a video of all of the whole cast next to who they're playing,
Yeah.
everybody, because there were so many people that
Mhm.
I know they picked specifically that were like kind of side characters that in reality are probably somebody like huge within the SNL universe.
Probably, man.
There were
Probably.
writers and musicians there that you know probably have been doing it all these years.
Everybody, welcome back to Small Couch Reviews. It's your boy Sam.
It's your boy Joey.
Got a screener tonight. Thank you to our friends over at the Grand Shucket for setting this up. Tonight we saw Saturday Night.
Yes.
It is the I want to say true because I think a lot of this probably did happen, but it is the story.
I think it was very close just because as we get older we find out how wild actors really are.
Yeah. But this was the chaotic. It's a story of the chaotic 90 minutes before the first airing of the first episode of Saturday Night Live, live from New York. So we see a young Lorne Michaels dealing with setback after setback, while dealing with his network NBC, trying to get this show on the air. We have a bunch of actors that became household names, but just now getting their start, including we got John Belushi, Chevy Chase, Garrett Morris,
which is crazy.
Jim Henson. It's like I think he was pretty big then. But anyway,
favorite part of the movie.
yeah. But so we see them, and again, it's just the show. When the movie starts, it is 10 p.m. on Saturday night, and Lorne Michaels is just scrambling to get everything done. He doesn't have his script finished yet. He hasn't decided which sketches are going to make the final cut. He has to still build sets. Actors are fighting each other. Some actors haven't signed their contract, and all the while he's handling the circus. And the execs at NBC are like, we could just put on a rerun of Johnny Carson. So he kind of has to deal with that too. That's basically the movie. A cool hour and a half. So you're not going to hear me complain about the length.
Oh no.
Yeah, let's get right into it, man. I actually really enjoyed it, man. But Jovi, I want to hear, do you have any sours? I have one.
I don't, unless I thought about this in the car. I really don't. And I don't know why, because it wasn't perfect.
Right. But I think it was because it wasn't a perfect film, right?
Right.
But it's the film. You could tell this is the film they wanted to make. Oh, I should also mention, I'm sorry, it's directed by Jason Reitman, whose name I know. And I will always remember because he directed probably one of my top 10 favorite films, Juno.
Yes.
Yeah. But so it feels like he made the movie he wanted to make.
Mm-hmm.
The actors in it did their job. And, we were just watching this moment in time play out.
No, for sure.
So, yeah. I think that my sour.
Your sour, go for it.
Is probably, and it might be the theater we were in, but the sound mixing. Especially in the beginning before I got used to it, and I know it's supposed to be chaotic, like I said, but the background music would drown out the actors' voices. So I couldn't really hear what he was saying. But I don't know if you remember, we saw Bad Boys in this theater too. And there were parts in that movie where I couldn't really hear what was being said. So it might be the theater.
Yeah, I think it's the theater, completely the theater. And that goes to why the older lady asked, we were in the elevator, hey, how did you like it? It's like, yeah, I liked it. I was like, a little chaotic. She's like, yeah, you can say that. And that's just like, yeah, because that's all you get. Certain scenes, and there's literally plot points, like they're talking there. It is a lot of dialogue. This is the most dialogue heavy movie I've watched in a really long time.
I actually was going to bring that up as one of my sweets, where this movie, from the moment it starts, and when it starts, it's kind of quiet in the beginning. They're handing out flyers. The Page is handing out flyers at the beginning saying, "Hey, you want to come to this show?" When Lorne Michaels, after this creator, starts talking, I don't think the movie is silent for a moment on. It's just constant talking. Whether it's Lorne, Chevy Chase, Garrett Morris, whoever it is, John Belushi, whoever it is, someone is always saying something. Yeah. And it's that quick type of dialogue that you're probably used to if you watch like The Marvelous Miss Maisel or that other show, the writers Gilmore Girls that they also wrote, where it's just they keep going and going
and then like throwing it. It's the best way I can explain it is they're just talking, and someone is literally throwing a camera in every room.
Yes, exactly.
Like in this what it has to be like a 4-story, 5-story studio. Mm-hmm. And you're literally there, you're going to the dock, you're going to the front of the building, and like it's literally like you said they made the movie that they wanted to make because now we got a little insight of really what it took to make what legitimately probably one of the longest running television programs of
50 years.
Yeah. Like,
yeah, man. Like it's great. Like that first night, like, I mean, you would you think the nerves would be what would derail the thing, but it wasn't it wasn't the nerves. Like that was the last thing. It was just so much stuff. He just wanted to build this thing. He has a great line in this movie where he says, "This is going to be the first thing on television made by people who grew up watching television," which I thought was just, he was clearly passionate about this project, which is like, yo, I don't want to really cut any of these. Like a big part of it was, what are you going to cut? Because you have 3 hours worth of material.
Right.
And then the other part was, what kind of show is this? And he couldn't really describe it. It was just like a feeling he had. And I loved that. I really liked that.
Yeah. I'll go in so we can make this one a quick one because it's like I really don't have negatives. I really enjoyed the way it looked. I really thoroughly enjoyed the way it was filmed. Like I said, it was just movement.
Yeah, the camera kept moving, man.
Yeah, I like movement, and movement does not make you sick. It wasn't like just quick cam. Very much so like
it's like someone's like walking down the hallway. The camera's following them walking down the hallway. It's not like this camera's sitting still.
Yeah.
So, even when they're in a room together, someone's talking, and as you hear a voice come from the other side, the camera like goes to that person's voice. Yeah. Like it was shot very, very well.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the comedy?
Oh, spot on, because it not only was it funny, it was
adult.
Yes, it was very adult, and it was funny because it was in the style of the actors that they were portraying.
Yep.
Right.
Exactly.
So like it just hit harder because it's like this is 70, 75.
Yeah.
This is 75. By the time we saw these actors, they were 15 years into their career. All right. But you
more
still
than that. By the time we saw them? Do the math, bro. Might have been 25.
Like 25? No, 15, 20 years, maybe 20 at the max. And it felt like them, right? It still felt like it, but they were just younger. So like, they were a little more quick. They were a little more, like you said, adults.
Like Chevy Chase was the biggest surprise.
Borderline nasty, right? It was just like this is, but it was hilarious. I haven't heard people laugh in a film like that in a while, and I'm laughing at stupid shit because like Jim Henson, as soon as he came on the screen, I bust out laughing because I knew
you hit me on the shoulder because he sounded like Kermit.
Yes,
you were like, what is, and every time he showed up, you just bust out laughing. I don't know why
it's like I knew who he was immediately before he even said a word. I was like, oh my gosh, they really got, and he really looks like Jim Henson. And then when he talked, it was over for me. It's just that is the portrayal of the characters, even though we didn't get to see them at that age. It made me feel like they got them right. Right.
Yeah, I want to say one other thing. The cast in this film, I feel like just like the cast in SNL, they said, it was kind of a lot of unknowns. a lot of these people in this movie, you might see them be like, oh, hey, I recognize them from something. But there's nobody here that you're going to be like, oh, yeah. Except for the one kid from Stranger Things. I think he might be the biggest star, and he's like the least amount of screen time. But she'll be like, oh, I recognize him. Oh, and the guy who plays Garrett Morris, Lamorne Morris. I think he's pretty popular. He just won the Emmy. But a lot of them, me and you can recognize. Like the guy who plays Chevy Chase, I recognize him from that terrible show Gotham. But a
lot of
and even the main character who plays Lorne Michaels, it was another screen. You missed his screener, but he starred in this film called The Fabelmans by Steven Spielberg. It's kind of just like that. They got a bunch of people who aren't like super duper A-list, and put them in this movie, just like the original SNL did. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I agree with you on the comedy. I was laughing quite a bit at just some of this. It's a type of comedy where it's like, you're right. It's their personalities that are funny.
Yeah.
Just put them in a room and just make them talk to each other, and you laugh at what they say to each other. That's what was funny to me. All the different fights that broke out, when one dude got high and didn't know what to do, it was hilarious. And the way they kept making fun of the Muppets, like I loved it.
Because, bro, think of this: 1975. You got some hippie coming there with freaking puppets, and everybody's gonna make jokes. Everybody's gonna and they're young, so they're going to make fun of it. And I think that's what made it even more funny for me, because it's like I would say the same things if a random guy came, tall, skinny, white guy's like, hey guys, I like playing with puppets. we're gonna make jokes. But it's like he's probably the most successful out of everybody.
So I mean, that's basically it. It was funny.
Right.
It told an actually very interesting story of this night that, I'll admit I didn't know this how it got its start. Like you said, the way it was filmed was great. I really also like the for lack of a better word, the filter they used, because it made it look like it was actually shot in that time.
Yeah, it definitely looked older. It looked like an older film.
And I mean, there wasn't an acting stand out. I do think that every single character portrayed in this movie had their moment to show, or had their moment to shine, really. Yeah. Every single one of them. When you see on camera, there was a moment I remember with Chevy Chase, moment I remember with Garrett Morris, moment I remember with Dan Aykroyd, Billy Crystal, John Belushi. All of them had one moment where I'm like, okay, this is funny.
Yeah. And if it was written that way, bravo.
Yeah. I mean, it really was. This is one where, the entire ensemble came together and gave us a good show. So I think this is a good one. Like you said, it's not absolutely perfect. Yeah. I've been giving a lot of 4s recently, but maybe we need to change our scale, because 4 to me is just like, it's very good. I think you should watch it, but it's not like the pinnacle.
I feel like this is going to be my 4th 4 in a row.
Yeah. But it's better than mid. Like, that's what I think of 3.
Sure. So, and I feel like I could rewatch this again and then kind of catch things that I didn't catch before.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. So sounds like we're in agreement that the score on this is a 4.
A 4.
All right. Saturday night, it is going to be limited release in our area in DC this weekend, and I think wide release the next weekend. So when you see it, let us know what you think about it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Until next time, we out.
Deuces.